So here I am taking these wires off. I've taken a nice little razor, utility knife, and I'm slitting very carefully the areas where all of the electrical tape is. Now remember, your vehicle needs a lot of love. It'll get you everywhere you want to go real fast. They're only as dependable as you maintain them. So, you know, something like this, a little bit of love is really good. If I would have done this probably when I first got it, the engine was really clean. I put a lot of miles on it. If I'd have done this first, I wouldn't be doing it now, and all these wires would be nice, bright, and clean. And it's really nice to know where everything goes. When you have a repair, boy, the last thing you want to deal with is having everything just being a mess. So you can see how much electrical wire they use on this. And they're probably doing it in short spurts, but small lengths. But just going to clean it all up and get all this old stuff taken off. It's really thick right there. You'll see what I'm going to do here in a little bit when I put this wrap on here. The way I do it, it's really nice. It just came to me the other day when I was doing the other side. I was thinking, how can I get that wrap to stay and hold in place? And boom, bing, happy day. So there's that right there. All that's off of there. Doing like any other job, you probably would like to go online and look at some materials that you want to buy. Of course, you can get everything from your local tool store. I use O'Reilly's because they're real close by. I really like the people over here in Ashland, Arkansas. There's also a store close by in Salem, Arkansas, Salem Auto Supply. I think it's a Parts City dealership, but they're really nice people. They've been around, you know, it's always nice. These auto parts guys, businesses, it's nice to go in there. You know, sometimes things in your life change, but most of the time, these guys don't change unless they move on in age or, you know, anyway, most of the time they got knowledgeable staff because they've seen so many people come in with their cars, or with, not with their cars, but with their the problems they're dealing with. And these vehicles, they all change all the time. The dealers, the manufacturers, the engineers, they come up with a better way of doing something. And so what they end up doing is they change everything, and could be the middle of the year, next thing you know, you're getting some change. Now I got to be careful here. I didn't mean to take this off, but I see that I may have created myself a little bit of confusion keeping these wires together. So now I'm going to go right here and take off this nasty stuff. Let's see if I can get that any better right there. Maybe I'll just move the camera some. I guess that's a good spot. But the routing of these wires, I know, has got to be intentional, but sometimes I wonder that, I mean, everything interferes with everything else. You think that that wouldn't be the way, but I'm sure the routing is specific for a reason, and certainly they do it on every vehicle. See, when you're an employee working for a company and you think you want to do things your way, that's really crazy. Biggest reason why is because everybody else is trying to do something universal. And we do want to have everything that's being done that we can go to a video and see that it's the same on our vehicle as well as anybody else's. But this individuality stuff when it comes to mass-produced vehicles is just nonsense. I see a lot of aftermarket alterations done to vehicles. We do that all the time when we're younger. But the reality is the manufacturer, for the most part, knew what they're doing, much more than you. They put all that, those millions of dollars of time and research and paying people that want a really good wage and Heck, nothing wrong with that. Everybody wants a good wage, but you got to make sure that you're worth every dollar you ask for. Some people want a lot of money and have no knowledge or experience. That's just immaturity. They don't know any different. They only know what they know, and even then they haven't been on the earth long enough to experience much of anything. Most. People living in the country, they seem to have a better grasp on how things go and how difficult things are. And anyway, like I said, the biggest thing about these vehicles is just maintaining them, giving them the love they need. Heck, if you want your car to last forever, treat it well. So now I've gotten that all taken off. There's some more back here. My problem is I've already plugged in some things. So now I've got to come back here and remove these connectors here. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. There we go. See more of the engine bay. Can't get to this harness area back here because I've got all these other wires that are connected. So I've slid this back out and just push on that little lever. You can see it rock right there. We just replaced this. This is the idler air control sensor. So now I can pull on this wire a little bit more, and it goes back a ways. I don't know how I'm going to be able to get back there. I probably won't be able to, but in the meantime, I'm going to be able to get all this stuff right here cleaned up. I may take some simple green and wash it down. So there's the trash from what's been taken off already. I'm not putting a lot of pressure when I cut this line, but I've worked with these knives for a very long time. Like everybody else, I've had my share of cutting myself, so you start to realize, okay, just cut what you need. Don't try to take it all at one time. The other thing that's really nice about this protective wiring harness stuff is that you can get them in different colors. And that's a lot of fun. I want to make it look really pretty. But when it comes to automobiles, just simple and clean is, I think, is the way to go. Keep everything nice and neat. And black is black, and it's an excellent color with the rest of the engine, not too much contrast. However, because my truck is blue, I'd kind of really like to cover things with blue wrap, but haven't been able to find any, and where I'm at, it's kind of rural, so we have just a limited supply of a lot of stuff. And like I said earlier, that it'd be great if you just ordered the stuff before you needed it. I think you can get it quite a bit more reasonable. I got 3 foot of 3/4 inch of this plastic sheeting at O'Reilly's for, I think it was $6 or $7, $7 or $8, $6 or $7, $8. I thought that was really expensive. That's not O'Reilly's fault. I mean, that's just what prices are. But you know, heck, do what you got to do. It's your money. So you see what's going on there? Taking all that off, getting all that plastic out of the way, all that nasty stuff. Okay.